Hey guys, Scott with Football Scoop back on the Inside Scoop. Today we've got Kevin Emerson, the head coach at San Bernardino Valley. How are you, bud?
Good, good. Thanks for having me.
Hey guys, I reached out to Coach Emerson because I hear he's got a new fundraising concept for coaches. It's a nonprofit, and I'm fascinated anytime I hear about coaches helping other coaches. So, Kevin, tell me, what do I need to know about eConnect?
Well, basically, over the years, I've always, and many coaches I know have done a letter campaign. And it's kind of taken a lot of our time. It's kind of taken a ton of effort, and it's just hard to track the players and everything. So what I've done over the last few years is I've started to kind of make it all electronic over the years, and that was for my personal use at where I've been. And throughout the time, it's just kind of been a very unique thing to find out how to make everything electronic, make it easier for the kids, make it easier for me as well. And that's kind of what derived eConnect fundraising was. Now it's all electronic. The coach can go on in about 10 minutes and create a fundraiser and the whole scope of what the fundraiser is all about. And then the players can also go on the site from their side. They'll upload all their contact information. So now the coach is not given envelopes. He's not doing mailings. He's not tracking things that by paper anymore. Everything's done all electronically on the site, and it takes care of everything. So that's kind of, in a nutshell, what it's done, and it's been very, very good for us and very good for a lot of other coaches that are getting on the system now.
All right, so talk me through this a little bit slower for me. So this is eConnectfundraising.org, right?
Right.
You guys are a nonprofit, and so coaches go on there, they sign up their fundraising opportunity. The players basically give them the contacts, right?
Yeah. So what will happen is the coach will go on, he'll create an account, he'll hit Start Fundraising, which is on the website tab there. He'll fill out basically some basic information about the school and the fundraiser, and then he'll put in a fundraiser code that will link that fundraiser to all of his players basically. The players will then go on the website. They will take their family and their close friends, aunts, uncles, grandparents, everything, and they'll upload all that information onto the site, and it will link into the website all automatically. So then the coach now, all he's got to do is just make sure his players are uploading the contacts. That's all he has to do, and the coach can go on the site and click a report button, and it will tell them exactly how many uploads each kid in their program is uploaded. So it's very easy to track, very easy to manage. Then what we do is we take those contacts and we take the information the coach has provided on the fundraiser, and we create a email basically. And this email is going to be a donation email that's sent out to all those contacts and basically leverages the number of our athletes. And that's what makes fundraising so unique, is the numbers of athletes. And that's where football really shines, is we have a lot of numbers. So you take 10 athletes times 100 or 10 contacts times 100 athletes, that's 1,000 contacts going out there. We hit only 30% of those, and we're raising up to $25,000. So right now the average is about $230 per athlete is actually bringing in off of their contacts, which is a tremendous fundraiser, which is by any account.
So let me make sure I heard that right, and that's a fascinating number. So coach has, I'm going to make this up, 100 players on his team, and you said the average player is generating $230 in donations?
Correct.
So I mean, you're looking at potentially a $20,000 donation appeal.
Yeah, in about a month or a month and a half or so, that could be a $20,000 donation or fundraiser basically.
Wow. And so again, Coach, I hate to ask slow questions, make sure I get it, but
fine.
Literally, a player goes on there and he said, he enters, a person's name, might be a grandparent, might be, a neighbor, enters their name and their email address. Does the player have to do much more than that?
That's it. That's all the player does, is they'll create their own basic accounts, their information in, they'll put their email address in, and then they'll put their contact, which would be, let's say, grandma, and then there's a relationship tab. Then they'll just tab what the relationship is to them, and that's it. And then eConnect does everything from there. Nothing else is necessary by the coaches. Nothing else is necessary by the player. We will then take that information, create the email merge basically. We will then send out the emails to all their prospects. We will then collect all the funds through credit card donations. and e-checks if necessary. And then we'll cut the check to the organization, back to the organization.
Does the high school coach see the template of what's going out? Does he approve it or anything like that?
Yeah. Everything's run with the high school coach. Once we get the information, we develop the email, and then I'll then submit it to the coach, and then he's going to look it over, edit it, and then send it back to me, and then we'll go back and forth till we get a perfect email, and then we'll shoot it out.
How long have you been coaching, Coach?
19 years.
So you've been through the fundraising process a few times, huh?
Absolutely. We've sold everything from cards. We've done car washes. We've gone to movie studios and been part of the studio. And this is by far the easiest thing that I've ever done as a coach, and that's what inspired me to help other coaches as well.
What's a typical time? So a coach signs up. He wants to do this, and then he's got to get his players to sign in, give them contacts, and then send out the initial email, the initial appeal, or whatever, and then get to see some results. How long is that process? What do you typically?
We're looking at about a total of 45 days from the beginning to the end of the actual fundraiser. And that's kind of funny. The fundraiser really never ends, because what we do is we send out 4 emails in 45 days. And that's what's really critical about this compared to a mailer campaign. When you send a piece of mail, you send it out one time and you hope it hits. You hope it's like, oh gosh, I hope they send money. But with an email campaign, a lot of people are procrastinators. We are as by nature. We'll say, well, I'd love to donate. Oh, I'll get back to that later. That's where the beauty of this program comes in, is every 10 days they'll get another email that reminds them, basically. Mm-hmm. So that's how we're able to recoup actually 35 to 65% more than the mailer would in itself.
So what's the optimal time for most high schools to be doing this, Coach?
This is right about now is when they really want to start getting the system get signed up in the system, because what's going to happen in June is when they're going to get all their 9th graders, and they're going to get their big bulk of their teams ready to go. So June is when, I would say mid-June at the latest, or even early July at the latest, is when the coach would want to set up his account and start getting the contacts from his players into the system. Mm-hmm. So we could launch it in mid-July would be a great launch time.
And then just following back up on the cash flow cycle. So 45 days, ballpark is the entire timeline of this thing. When does the high school or the coach begin to actually see the check come their way?
Basically, after we send the email and the funds start coming in, it's usually literally 30 days after the first email campaign goes out. Donations come in, they'll get their first check, and then it's every 2 weeks thereafter they'll get as more income comes in and processed, they'll get more checks. And then some people even deliver checks late, or will donate late. And then also we have a reoccurring function, which is a great function. If people don't want to spend like $300 all at once, they might put $30 a month for 10 months and run it that way. So then they'll get more checks throughout the year also.
Yep.
It's kind of an ongoing fundraiser.
And I assume there's a pretty easy panel or a dashboard for the coaches to log in and see their progress?
Absolutely. They'll log in, they'll have a dashboard, and it will say participants, prospects, and donations. They can click on it, and at the touch of the click of a mouse, they'll have every report that they'll ever need. So it's pretty neat and really easy to see and view.
Hey, Coach, it sounds like a great design. Makes a lot of sense. I know you guys have been doing this for years, so I know you put a lot of thought into it. So this is live. I mean, coaches are using this right now?
Right. Yeah, we've got coaches on it right now. We actually just launched about a month ago, and we've got a good number of coaches on it, and we're actually about to take on a whole basketball association in Minnesota. Wow. So a lot of good things are happening right now.
That's great stuff. I appreciate you joining us to talk about this, and wish you guys best of luck.
Well, thanks, Scott. We appreciate it.